Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. This is going to be a Season 19 starter Tournament 16 speed farm for the Whirlwind. Been playing on the PTR. This thing's absolutely amazing, really easy, really low requirements. So we've got about 650 Paragon. We're going to melt T16 like it's butter, really quick. We only need legendary gems up to a rank 25. Maybe one of them 50 would be helpful, but 3 of them rank 25 will be just good enough. Really easy to gear for actually, because the Wrath of the Waste is going to be the starting set. A lot of these items are quite easy to find. So you know me, guys, I love fast builds, I love easy to put together builds, I like builds with low brain power. This fits all of them. It is also great for the season theme because it is so quick. We also have a couple of mechanics that will help us chain enemies together so we can get all those lovely visual effects, which we all love to see. Really quickly, guys, just in case you don't know what the season theme is, it's the Pandemonium buff. So when we kill enemies, we get stacks of extra damage and extra move speed. The move speed caps at 50% and the damage at 100%. That's from max of 1,000 stacks. And realistically, I think that you're going to be tapping out at around 500 in a normal key farming rift, unless you specifically keep going after the Rift Guardian. So it's pretty much 50% move speed and 50% damage at the end of the rift, and it ramps up over time. Now, as you make kills, you get kill streak bonuses, so you'll see all kinds of crap flying on the screen. As I say, getting to 300-400 is fairly doable quite a lot of the time. Your issue is going to be swapping floor, so the build will deal with that. I'll get to that when we look at it. But yeah, about 500 is probably your max for a key farming rift, and quite a lot of the time you'll finish the rift with only 300-400. Just depends on the mob type and the progression. Looks really nice. It's been a lot of fun playing it so far, so this build will suit it very well. Now, before we jump into it, I just want to say welcome to anybody who's new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and as always, guys, a thumbs up is appreciated. So looking at the gear, this is obviously on PTR, so I will redo this guide if, let's say, anything changes. I imagine they're going to leave the set. It looks pretty good. We might get a slight tweak in some of the numbers, but it looks to be performing quite well. Now, the Wrath of the Waste set, 2-piece, increase the damage per second of Rend by 500% and its duration to 15 seconds. That's really nice. Rend is essentially a damage over time effect, so it's a dot that gets applied. Now, the change to the 6-piece means that when we hit with Whirlwind, we actually apply Rend, so you don't need to have Rend on your bar, it just gets automatically applied. And also under the 6-piece, your damage is increased by 10,000%. Now on the 4-piece, whilst we Whirlwind, we get a 50% damage reduction, and also Rend deals triple damage. So if you look at Rend, we've got 500% and its duration increased on the 2-piece, triple damage on the 4-piece, 10,000% on the 6-piece, and it gets applied on the Whirlwind. Guys, Rend is just absolutely super juiced. This is just absolutely bonkers. But it doesn't stop there. We're also going to be taking a Ambo's Pride. This is going to go in our cube over here. And what this does is attacking with Whirlwind also applies Rend, and the total damage of Rend is dealt over 1 second. So Whirlwind already applies Rend, so that's not particularly important. But what it does is it shortens the dot to 1 second instead of 15, so that's a huge damage increase because all that 15 seconds worth of damage is now applied over 1 second. So this is a one-handed mighty weapon, so obviously you're going to have to upgrade those in the cube to get it, but hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Plus, in any event, the Bulkathos blades, which are the Whirlwind weapons, which we'll talk about in a little bit, are also one-hand mighty weapons, so you know, chances are it's not going to be too hard to find these things. But back to Rend, we're also going to get a further multiplier because we're going to take the Lamentation belt. Rend can now stack up to 2 times on an enemy, and the damage is increased by another 200%. Another multiplier, and it stacks twice, so it's double damage as well. So this is just like Rend just absolutely melts. So basically, we now no longer need to take the Skull Grasp because we're not damaging with Whirlwind per se. It's more Whirlwind is applying the Rend, and that's doing the damage. You don't want Whirlwind damaging any of your gear. So the main weapons we're going to be using will be the Bulkathos sets of Warrior Blade and also the Solemn Vow. Now what these do is they give us a 45% increased attack speed and also 45% move speed whilst we're whirlwinding, and we also get 15 fury generated per second. So resource isn't a problem, so that allows us to pick whatever rune we want for whirlwind, which is quite nice. 45% attack speed is very nice, and also the 45% move speed. Now, by all means, you don't have to take these weapons, but I just think that the 45% move speed for T16, as we're melting it anyway, we may as well just go for these because we move quicker, and again, it helps with the season theme. More movement speed basically means more kill chains. So the only other multiplier we've got is Squirts Necklace. This will give us up to double damage when we don't take damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Boon of the Hoarder, so that whenever we kill enemies, they explode with gold, which is really nice. And then we're going to suck it up with the Avarice band, which is the ring we've got on, and because of the gold wrap, it's going to give us a massive armor buff. Now, when we pair that with a Molten Wildebeest Gizzard, even just at rank 25, this shield will never drop provided you picked up gold, and that means that your squirts will never drop off. Because in 267 they fixed the bug, so basically we've got double damage for the entirety of the rift. So again, another really nice multiplier. Now, to handle our cooldown, we're going to take Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Whirlwind is a spender, so whenever we hit with this, we're going to be bringing our cooldowns back very quickly. I've only got a pretty paltry 36% cooldown, and you'll see from the footage it's absolutely fine. More cooldown would obviously be better, and realistically any of these skills that are on a cooldown on the bar, which we'll go through in a sec, will be reduced by the Zodiac. So more cooldown will be better, but you don't need it. It's not a cooldown intensive build. And then rounding out the gear, we've gone for the Band of Might. Now you might say this is pointless because we've got the gold wrap, but every so often this game will just give you an elite or a champ pack right at the start of the rift, or right as you swap floors. Your gold wrap bonus isn't always going to be up, so with this effect, because we will be taking Furious Charge, it means that we can have an 80% damage reduction. So it just means that whenever we Furious Charge, which will be every so often, we've got this 80% damage reduction, so even if our gold wrap does drop off, we're not going to die, and that's really nice because we're not actually going to be taking a cheat death, because it's just not worth it. Now, the other legendary gem I've gone for is the Wreath of Lightning. Again, you only need this at rank 25. The damage is immaterial. What we want is the 25% increased move speed, and also what this does is when it goes off, you fire lightning out almost a little bit like you've got a conduit pylon, and that's really handy because it'll hit enemies far away, it'll go through waller and all sorts of stuff like that, and occasionally this will help you keep up your kill chain. So it's quite nice from that, but it's really the move speed that's going to be the main benefit. Now realistically, I think when you get a little later in the season, it might be the case that you decide to drop the squirts for a Flavour of Time, which would double your pylon effects, and then also you'd probably take a Bane of the Trapped instead of the Gizzard, and that would just give you a bit more damage. But at the moment, this is the way that I'm doing it with, as I say, 650 Paragon, and it's melting it pretty quick. So looking at the skills, Whirlwind, we can choose whichever rune we want. What we're going to do is we're going to go for Hurricane. This fits with the season theme really well. We suck enemies in from 35 yards away. So what it means is that if we do get a little lost going one way or the other, we're going to pull enemies in and keep hitting them. So it's really lazy, really nice. Now on left click I've gone for Ignore Pain Bravado. We get a 50% damage reduction, doesn't really matter, but what we do get is 40% move speed for 5 seconds. So the idea is that once you've collected your DBs off killing the enemy, you can click this and then you can move on to the next pack very quickly. Sprint Marathon, that's just going to be 40% move speed for 4 seconds. It costs Fury. We don't really have any Fury problems, so pop this as soon as it comes back basically. You can't numlock it because it's not on a cooldown, so your Fury will just go down far too quickly if you do, so you just want to keep an eye on this and activate it every 4 seconds. Battle Rage Ferocity, this is here simply for move speed, another 15% move speed, so you can swap this out to Bloodshed and that would deal an absolute stack of damage, and that would be really nice. But the 15% move speed, we just do so much damage guys, all we're stacking is move speed everywhere. Furious Charge, Merciless Assault, this allows us to proc the Band of Might for the 80% damage reduction, just in case we have to charge headlong into an elite at the start of the map. But guys, this is really handy when you move floors. So when you move floors, what you want to do is you want to activate this immediately and sprint as far as you can into the floor, because you want to keep your kill chain going. Swapping between floors is the most likely time that you're going to drop off, so this is very handy for that. Now we've gone for this rune because what it does is it reduces the cooldown depending on the enemies that you hit. So ideally you charge and you hit some enemies, it reduces the cooldown so that the Zodiac procs don't go into this. You don't want to pick Dreadnought because that's going to have 3 charges and you'll find that all of your Zodiac procs will end up going into this. So Furious Charge, Merciless Assault is what I like. Wrath of the Berserker, Insanity. This is just simply a damage increase, and also we get an extra 20% move speed. We get more crit chance, attack speed. This is basically just more damage, more move speed. This won't be up all of the time. If I bothered to roll my gear better, I probably would have it up all the time. A little bit more cooldown would serve me probably better, but as you can see from the footage, or should have seen from the footage, we don't need it up 100% of the time. But basically the idea is that if you don't use Ignore Pain very much, and you don't use Furious Charge very much, then this is the only thing that Zodiac is funneling into, so you can kind of control it. So ideal playstyle would be only use Ignore Pain after you've picked up your DBs and your loot, and then you want to basically only Furious Charge when you absolutely have to stop yourself from dying or from swapping floors. But to be honest guys, you're going to condition yourself. I'm going to do a GR speed build at some point, and I'm probably going to keep Furious Charge in, so you might find you overuse it, but it is what it is. Passive wise, again, move speed, Pound of Flesh, so whenever we pick up a health globe we're going to get increased move speed, so that's really nice. Gone for Ruthless, just in case we don't one-shot something, it's going to increase our damage. Obviously Rend is still dot over a second, so what you'll find is that things will just melt, particularly once they get low on health. Boon of Bolcathos, this is going to give us a 30-second reduction in the core of Wrath of the Berserker, so 30 seconds off the cooldown for that, really handy. And then Rampage, increase our strength up to 25%, again fits with the season theme. It's on an 8-second kind of refresh, so once you've killed 25 enemies you've got 25% extra strength the whole way. So that's pretty much the build guys. It is really fast, it is very easy to keep up these kill chains. Obviously the season theme is going to give us extra move speed and extra damage. I'm personally finding it's fairly hard to get the 1000 kill mark, because you're just not going to get it in a GR, and you're going to have to really carry on a T16 Nephilim Rift, which to be honest I haven't managed to achieve yet. But you'll find that you will get quite a lot of kill chains with this build, because it is just very easy at jumping from pack to pack. Now in terms of swaps, I probably wouldn't really change much other than the flavour of time, but if let's say you don't want to take the gold wrap in a cube, you can go for Mantle of Channeling. That will give you a bit more damage and a bit more toughness. And then weapon wise, you can take off the Zodiac and put the Messerschmitts in the cube and run with an Echoing Fury and an Ambo's Pride. The downside that I see to that is it might be superior in terms of damage, but we don't need that for T16, and the move speed of the Bolcathos blades seems to be the better choice for me. But these might make it into a GR version, so we'll have to see what we come up with. But that's it guys, I hope you like the build. Leave me a thumbs up if you do. I will be back with more videos very soon. Peace.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.